Okay, I hope you like that intro. I thought I'd use that one because it was more appropriate for this type of video. Uh, what I want to talk about today is the assault weapon. The assault weapon, the deadly assault weapon. What we have here is the airsoft version of the deadly assault weapon. As you can see here, that is an airsoft magazine, and this is an airsoft rifle. This is a gas blowback. Okay, this is not an assault weapon. Certainly, you could assault somebody with it, but you're not going to do much damage. Might just hurt a little bit from the tiny plastic BBs, as you can see, that go. And the magazine, tiny plastic BBs. So this is not an assault weapon. I mean, you could use it as an assault weapon if you decided to pick it up like this and bang somebody on the head. There you go. That's good assault right there. Assault weapon. Look, you know. So there's really no danger in anything like this. Now, suppose this were an actual AR-15. Okay, would that make it an assault weapon? Well, of course not. I mean, unless you assaulted somebody with it. See, assault is an action based on an intention. Now, if this were an actual AR-15, I could defend myself with it. Would it be an assault weapon if I were defending myself with it? When the manufacturer produced AR-15s, they didn't produce them to assault people. They produced them for the auto-loading function. That's right, auto-loaders. That's what this was called in the beginning. It was called an auto-loader, not a semi-automatic. Now, the only place that you're going to find the word semi on an actual AR-15 is nowhere. The only place you will find semi on a fully automatic M4 carbine would be on the selector. And you will find safe. We can see that. This is the airsoft version again. You see safe, semi, and full. If this were a regular AR-15, it would say safe and fire. Okay, so what does this do that is any different than, well, what does the AR-15, the actual AR-15, do that is different than a bolt action rifle? Well, it's an auto-loading system. What happens is, when you have a loaded magazine and your chamber is charged and you fire a round, the next round auto-loads into the chamber. That's the only difference. You still have to pull the trigger, just like that, to make the gun fire. A bolt action, of course, we know, is you pull the trigger, okay? But this is an auto-loader. As a matter of fact, this was marketed in 1964 to the general public by Colt as an auto-loader. The word semi-automatic wasn't even used much at that time. But when it was marketed in 1964 to the general public for hunting purposes, and it was called an auto-loader, not a semi-automatic assault weapon. Okay? So, the assault that the states are making right now on this, which is a toy, which doesn't hurt anyone. I mean, it stings a little bit, yeah, you know. If you use an airsoft rifle, you know, they sting. But you're not going to kill anybody with this. But the greatest danger is maybe getting shot in the eye. Yeah, that would probably suck. But, you know, unless you're really good at shooting people in the eyes, I wouldn't worry about this too much. So why the big attack on the airsoft version? Well, it just looks too real. Look at it. Just looks menacing. Looks like one of those assault weapons. That's what it looks like, right? So what they're attempting to do, those legislators, is to effectively change the entire culture concerning guns. See, they don't want anything that looks like an actual gun. You know, they don't want people to play with guns. They want to change the culture. They want everything to be the way they want it to be in their utopia vision of America, which will never happen. You see, they've had a war on drugs for over 40 years. Imagine that. Can you find drugs anywhere? Mm-hmm. Yep, you can find them everywhere, right? A war on drugs for 40 years. I think it's the longest standing war that we have in America is war on drugs. And have they done effectively remove drugs from the public? Mm-mm. Not even a little bit. You can find them everywhere. Anything you want, you can go and get it. And that's what will happen with the real version of this, the AR-15. Yeah, you'd be able to find them. There'd be a black market for it. They'd be all over the place. You wouldn't effectively change anything. All you do is make criminals out of a whole hell of a lot of people who are currently law-abiding, have no intention on using the real version of this to harm anyone. They like to shoot as a sport. They go to the range. And it is their Second Amendment right to have the modern musket. That's right. And there are people out there that do not like that. They do not like the Constitution. They don't want you having any rights. They want to determine what permissions they are willing to give you. And that's just about it, in a nutshell. So, the reason why you see the assault on the toy version is because they hate the real version, and the toy version looks like it. You know, so they've got to get rid of it too. They don't want you or your kids or anyone playing with these terrible, terrible, menacing things while you might grow up and become a mass shooter, which is totally ludicrous. But anyways, thought I'd bring this out. We've had this, the actual version of the AR-15, we've had that in existence probably prior to 1964, but marketing to the general public was generally around that time. So what are we, 50 years, and suddenly these have become the menacing object. We must get rid of it. Suddenly. Yeah, but you know, no, not suddenly. These things have been around for a long time. And you know, statistics-wise, these have been used, well, the real version of this has been used less than any other thing in any type of crime. You know, so again, it is not this that is the problem. It is the legislators who don't care about your rights and want to see them vanish. And they want to be the ones who lord over you and tell you what you can have and what you cannot have, whether it be a toy or the real thing. So, hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly did. Looked like assault to me, didn't it? Okay. Like and subscribe, but only if you liked it.